Alright guys, Chomboricua in here. New project on the Boxster. If you can see, I already started it. I lowered the top, the tunnel down. In the process of getting the top to work, I busted the two push rod bearings, the little two little circle ball joints. So if you can see it for the first time, it's starting to look like a car. So that's the line right here for the Boxster. So anyways, today what I'm doing is actually replacing the CV boots. Why? Because they look kind of sad. This one still, you can tell that it looks old and dried up. Same with this one. I don't have to replace them, but I will. So I already got the two boots. They're right here. I have one with a pack of grease, the other one I guess I got the cheaper version. And I don't have the grease. I have one clamp I really need. I will reuse the inner clamps because I have a tool to actually pop them off and reuse these clamps. See them? So I can reuse these two. The outer ones are gone, so I actually have some very large clamps I don't really care much for, but they're all I have, so I'll use them. I use these two clamps. I already did the other axle. I have other clamps that they are either too big or too small. How you doing? Happy 4th. So, alright, so first step is actually clean them up a little bit so I don't have all the crud getting into the parts I'm trying to clean. So, for that, pop this cap off. By the way, this is actually a combination of what I read on YouTube, other contributors. So I just use, pop it off. Of course it comes all grimy, crap like that. I'm going to put this aside because I will wipe that clean. I wonder if it was easier to actually wash the whole thing out or clean it with paper towels. And to be honest, dissolving it with the greaser is a pain. It's not really worth it. So what you have now, actually this side of the axle, and as you can see it, pretty crummy, but it wasn't leaking. So I try to clean off as much as possible from here, the same from this other end. Kind of reminded me when I had little kids for some reason. Not really sure why, but when I had babies, I did this kind of action a lot. Yeah. So, keep cleaning. Keep cleaning. You know how to clean this stuff, right? I don't have to show you how to do that. I'll do that later, but all that crud out. Begin here. And cleaning. Important step. About to come in. Circlip in there. Okay. So pliers. There we go. So basically, I'm in the tiny holes, and The angle of the camera is messing me up. But you usually take one off, the other one comes off rather easily. So again, the camera. I'm gonna flip this over, guys. Sorry, but it's kind of working on the wrong side of my comfort zone. So, all right, so I think this is a little better for both of us. Going on here. Oh, put this in backwards. Interesting. Should have flipped the other way around. Oh well. Oh, that was it. Pause. Gotta fix my tool. Alright, so basically I had the wrong tip. I was using the angled one, a little harder. Switch to a straight tip, much easier. Actually, I'm popping it off. Whoa, I'm flying. Good reason to have eye protection. So here's a circlip. I'm gonna put it in my little tray. Now the whole thing can come off. Okay, and that's really the way that you guys should manage it. Slide the whole thing off. Of course, you have to pop the clamps off if you want to reuse that clamp. Okay, remember, main thing is to split the center, release that distance in between, lengthen it, make it longer, pop this little tab off, boom, you can actually put it aside. Again, since these are the right length, I'm going to reuse them, so I'm going to go ahead and expand this distance so I can then hook it with the clamp and tighten it up and squeeze it again. For now, main thing is to try to take the grime off, because they're going back in. This one is going back in anyways. This other one is non-reusable. It's harder to pinch, so I don't know how to reuse this. So it's a lot easier to remove all the parts right now rather than having them in your hands and fumbling with them. You're done with this tool for now. I'll put it away, get it out of the way. Knock the camera over, so I'm not an expert cameraman at all. So I'm not a mechanic, I'm just doing this for enjoyment, pastime, keeps me out of the bars for the most part. So there you go, slip the screwdriver under this tab, pop it up. Again, I don't know how to reuse this, so I'm going to go ahead and toss this one. Trash. So critical part coming up. Main thing is actually to remember how you took these parts out. The whole thing will slide out. Maybe we just did. There you go. What I recommend is actually start wiping stuff off as soon as you open it, so you don't end up dragging grease all over. It's not a fun job. So in the shaft, a little trick that I would recommend you do pay close attention on how this one is actually oriented. Pop the actual boot. Again, the boot is not bad, but it's starting to crack, so it's gonna go. I have 2 new ones, so trash. This is tricky because what happens now is the whole thing falls apart. Then you have to keep track of how you put it back together. Okay. If you see, this is the side of the actual engine. That's how it came off. Has a little bit of a bevel, interestingly. The one that I actually removed. Actually, pay attention to this one. This side is flat. This side is flat. Whoa. Of course, I'm not in the trash. So, my bearings. I followed my own advice. Wipe this off. As soon as you take it off, inspect it. Back in. If you see that it's all chewed up, flat spots, maybe you want to think about replacing the whole shaft, because what it does is creates unevenness, and eventually the whole thing will bind up. Well, first of all, it'll start clicking. You guys know what I'm talking about. And it locks up. You gotta play with this until actually you got all the ball bearings out. That's a job. Get gloves. Highly recommend it. Clean stuff as you go. And disassemble it. Just keep paying attention to that edge as comparison to the other edge. And if you can see it, hopefully I'll have a better picture here in a second. So you see this edge right here is flat. I don't know if you can. It's fairly straight. Slip. And this side, it's a bevel. Right there. What's up? Alright. Okay guys, so a few things happen. Disassemble this actual joint. And the main thing is not really how to take it apart. Again, you take the circlip off of this edge right here. Take the circlip off this edge, and the full assembly slides out. Boot was good. It's not ripped, so all I did is just shove everything out. After I actually replaced the parts, I took this off and cleaned them up. I'll clean them up some more, but that's good for now. All the components in here. And actually, I'm going to leave it at that. Now, if you want to do the inside, I recommend the outer. This one is not leaking. And if you don't want to disassemble the actual joint, which I don't want to mess with, what I'm going to do is actually slide it off this way. I'm already here. I don't have to disassemble this actual axle. I did it once already. I was kind of dumb. I didn't know what I was doing, so I replaced the outer boot after disassembling the joint. I clamped it and then came over this way. And this was actually giving me a little bit of trouble, because then I have to separate these two parts to be able to get the joint off. And honestly, I said, this is preventive. All I can do is put more grease, re-clamp it, put a new boot, and call it good. Because the joint is fine. So, what I recommend you do, again, once you take one boot off, either end, slide the other one out and put a new boot in there. And that way you have 2 new boots. So that's what I want to do. As I said, I actually will reuse one of the clamps. I could actually tear this boot off because I don't need it. I have a new one, so I have 2 boots here. One for the inner, one for the outer. Inner and outer. So I'm going to slide this off this way. I'm going to replace a new boot, stick no grease in there, and actually clamp it. And do the same with this side. So I'll come back when I assemble this, which, by the way, I have assembled it on the table by itself. It's just this joint. And then slip the whole assembly into the actual head. I find that a lot easier to do than putting this actual member here and trying to assemble everything here. That sounds more difficult. And I tried it and it didn't work too well. So what I'm going to do again, assemble the joint on the side, put it together, and actually go from there. I'll show you how to put it together right now. So it's not really that difficult. So actually what you got to do. Take this actual axle, one of the actual YouTubers, and again look for the actual bevel side. This is straight, this is bevel. Remember, this side goes towards the axle. Put it in like this. The way that it came out was like this, flat side. Slip that inside, put it like this, slip it inside, like so. Okay, and this is where you have to maneuver this in and out. Okay, one of the YouTubers, and I appreciate the information, is ensure that every large land, if you see it, points with its smaller line on the top. Again, just make sure this is key. If you don't do it like this, it will bind up on you. This longer piece, see it, needs to line the small one, not like this, not the long with the long. You can see it, the long comes over to the small, right there. So you're lining. Okay, so you start playing with it, pulling that little cage upward. You can push at it from the inside. Alright, so play with it a little bit. That's 4. That's 5. And when you put grease on them, it actually moves a lot easier, but without grease, it's actually a little tighter. Turn the cage up, go with the cage, whoops, and pop down. Alright, so -1. Boom. That's it. They put it together. Okay. That's 6. Again, flat side out right here. As you can see, this bevel side comes in. Bevel edge of the cage inside. You can see it versus the straight edge. And then you take this whole assembly. You show it in here. Show it in the axle. Boom. Circle up at the end. There, and you're done. I'll take it apart again just because I want to clean it up some more. And I'll wiggle it. I'm not going to show you how you take it apart, but I'll show you guys take it apart. Okay, I'll show you how to put it together. That's how you take it apart. And then we'll be back together. Now, I want to do again. Slip this boot all the way out this way, or cut it. Slip the new one in this way, put more grease, clamp it. Do the same with this one. I'll be done. Chomboricua with CV boot replacement. Of course, it's a lot easier if you just buy a whole axle, but it's $100 for an axle versus $8 or $20, somewhere in there, with grease and clamps. So I can do two axles for less than, for about $60, or I can buy 2 axles at about $300. So $150 each with manufacturer. So it's taking me a little more time, but the time is, it's really not that critical in my opinion right now. So I have a little extra time. So I'll be back when everything's put together. You saw how to put the actual knuckle together. Okay, you're gonna slip everything. I'll tell you guys when I'm about to be done. Alright guys, so like I said, you actually handle this separate. Again, align big flat marks right here with the smaller ones. And the cage itself, called the cage, looks like a bird cage. Put the bevel side inside. That's how I did the other axle. Basically, move it around till you get the clearance. I already cleaned it up, so I'm actually just maneuvering them into place. That's number 4. Number 5, I should say. One more. Should be number 6. The whole thing up. Just a little bit of patience sometimes because it doesn't move smoothly. As I push from the inside to the point where I get the clearance that I think I need, and then boom, right there it is. Now one thing to keep in mind, once you actually grease this thing, put it in, you're not going to be able to get grease on this side. So you want to put grease on this side, shove it in. You want to grease the inside of the boot also. Okay, so got a little grease pack here. Where's my cable cutter? I don't have it here. Oh, here it is, cable cutter. Alright, I just got a little tiny corner. I know you guys know how to grease stuff. Don't cut more than what you need. Squeeze some grease in there. Basically work it in the rubber boot itself. All right to the end. The splines you grease. You'll grease the splines later. Grease the inside of the boot too. Just like that. Then back this side. Nice dose of grease. Now of course it's a little harder to move because it's all greased up. I'm going to dump it, so that looks pretty good. Put some more of the grease in there. Just do that. Take the whole assembly. Slide it into place. Push it in to the point where you see the circlip gap in there. Put the boot right on it. Some boots are easier than others. Up there. Come on. There. Boots on. Okay, so now move it around a little easier. Grease the heck out of it on this side. think that's pretty good. So all you have to do, the cover on it. Cover had grease on it, so that's what I'm going to do. Put some grease on it. I'm just going to finish this bag. I think that's pretty good. Then I'll line the holes. It's a little hammer. As soon as you start squeezing this, that will fall in place. So then I'm going to put the actual bands. It's actually done. Sorry guys, left it running for way too long. And actually I put the thing without the clip on it. It's what a fool. Happens to everybody. So I have to tap it out. I'll be back. Now with the clip on. Duh, so stupid. I almost put it all back together without putting the actual circlip in. So sometimes people get ahead of themselves. Again, I'm not a mechanic. I just try to fix my own cars. So I enjoy doing it. But at the same time, I make dumb mistakes like that one. Now I'm just tapping the cover back on. Some of the grease, it's inevitable that it's going to squeeze out, especially after putting that much grease in that darn thing. So this is trash. One of the dirtiest jobs. Compare with effort that you can do in a car. Alright, so there you guys have it. Actually, there were two circlips. There was a one C-clip with a new kit, one with the old one, both the same. Measured them. One was cleaner than the other. I used a cleaner one. Put it back in there. Now just the bands or clamps. Like I said, I was going to reuse an old one using these pliers are kind of very handy. all I have to do is just tighten it up, kind of close it in itself, preload it if you will, and like this. Already pretty close to the actual spot. Not quite. Stretch this one a little more. You guys know how to do this. Just want to show you that I'm reusing this old clamp because I think it's the best one given the type of environment it's going to be in. For the long one, I decided I'm going to use this right here. So, Chomboricua, this will take care of the clamps. You guys, again, I'm sure know how to put some clamps on. You probably don't need to watch me struggle with a little piece of metal. Although it's probably something that you all will experience one point or another. You need to watch me do this. All nosy neighbors that always want to watch what I'm doing and never stop and say hi. Whole different issue. So anyways, this is all there is to it. Let's take care. Subscribe. Chomboricua out. I'll come back. Final thoughts on this little project, okay? Later. Alright guys, so the axle is done. Okay. Honestly, I do not recommend these clamps. These are much easier to use. OEM factory. These ones are a distance second. Basically, let me show you. Notice that you kind of fold back onto them. There's a little ratchet tool that you can use to crank and then tighten it. I didn't have that. This one doesn't require any special tools, but it's a pain in the ass to get those two little tabs to fold back on it. So, because of that, and it kept slipping off the edge, so I don't know if I have enough pressure or not. I think I do. I'm going to run it and see what happens. It's in there. It's not moving a whole lot. I think it's okay. Full grease, both of them packed. Same with this one. The other axle here, I already did. So put basically that new boot. This boot looks fine. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna screw with it right now. So I have 3 new boots. 3 new boots. So now read and see if the cross members go first under the car, or I should just start bolting on mufflers and stuff like that. I think that's what's happening, and that is what's next. I'll let you know what I'm going to do next. So, Chomboricua out, subscribe. The 06 Boxster is almost there. By the way, I took the seat out. If you can see, it had a big hole in the seat. I took it to a place where they will replace an outer panel and the bottom. Should be coming in tomorrow. We'll see. Anyways, guys, progress continues. I started it yesterday, did not smoke. Good sign. So now I'm going to lift it. I'm going to dump the water. So remember, all I had was water in it. Dump the water out. And put coolant in it. At the same time, I'm going to work on the suspension bits that are laying around. Put the muffler on. Put the underbody parts on. So a few pieces of plastic that are right here. I don't know where they go. I'll figure it out. And then we should be done. Alright? Peace out. Okay, so guys, progress continues. The axles were done. I got under the car, slipped them into place, and bolted them up. Slipped them into place, bolted them up. So I'm looking for the torque values for the actual shaft to the transmission. I think it's around 40 pounds or something like that. So I'll come back and redo
retighten them, I guess, or tighten them up. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue on putting cross members. I already hooked up the AC lines, which are back there. They were actually undone. I replaced the O-rings. Also hooked up the connector for the oxygen, 2 sensors, front, back. The second one is the hooks up on this cross member. The other one hooks up right here. I don't know if you can see it. And the other one goes up against the firewall. So there are actually 4 O2 sensors. 2 before the cap, 2 after. And those are bolted up. This is already been torqued. So now I'm going to continue on the cross members till my son comes back with the actual torque value for the shaft, for the drive shaft.